Hello students, in this video we are going to learn about the pectoral region. Pectoral region is the area of front of chest as shown in this figure, and it is mainly concerned with the structure which passes from pectoral region to the upper limb. Now the important surface landmarks. First is clavicle. So this is clavicle which you can feel because clavicle is subcutaneous throughout its length. Then jugular notch in between clavicles, there is a depression. This is jugular notch. An external angle 5 cm below the jugular notch is a bony prominence. This black line shows the external angle or angle of Lewis. Here second rib articulates with sternum as shown in this figure, and with the help of this angle we can count the rib. Above this is first rib and below this is second, third, fourth, and likewise. Now epigastric fossa between the lower border of thoracic cage is the epigastric fossa. The nipple is present in the fourth costal space just medial to the midclavicular line. So what is midclavicular line? There are two imaginary line, vertical lines passes through the center of the clavicle. Infraclavicular fossa, just below the clavicle there is a depression known as infraclavicular fossa. This one. Then coracoid process in the infraclavicular fossa 3 cm below the clavicle is a bony prominence. This is coracoid process, this one. Then acromion, the lateral end of clavicle articulates with acromion process of scapula. So this green structure is acromion. Then deltoid, the round contour of the shoulder joint is caused by a muscle, and this is deltoid muscle. This one. Axilla, the space between trunk and arm. This is axilla, and medial wall of axilla found by the upper part of trunk. This one. Then mid axillary line, the line passes through the center of axilla, vertical line. So this is mid axillary line passes to the center of axilla. Anterior to this, which passes through the anterior axillary fold, is anterior axillary line, and the posterior to this, the posterior axillary line passes through the posterior wall of the axilla or posterior fold of the axilla. Now the superficial fascia of the pectoral region, just below the skin there is a superficial fascia which contains moderate amount of fat. It also contains subcutaneous vessels, nerves, muscle known as platysma, and very important gland, mammary gland or breast, which will be taught to you in the different class. Now cutaneous nerves. So there are different nerves. First is medial, intermediate, and lateral supraclavicular nerve. So this is supraclavicular nerve just above the clavicle. Because of its location, it is medial, intermediate, and lateral. Then anterior and lateral cutaneous branch of T second to 6 intercostal nerve. So this is the anterior cutaneous nerve from T2 to T6, and this is the lateral cutaneous branch from T3 to T6. Another nerve is intercostobrachial nerve. This is intercostobrachial nerve. It is nothing but the lateral cutaneous branch of the lateral cutaneous branch of T2 intercostal nerve. So this supraclavicular nerve derives from the cervical plexus, and cervical plexus is formed by the joining of anterior primary rami of C1 to C4, this one, and C3 and C4 join to form supraclavicular nerve. So this is supraclavicular nerve. It divides into medial, intermediate and lateral supraclavicular nerve. This is the diagram showing the intercostal nerve. So intercostal nerve arises from the spinal cord. So here you can see this is the spinal cord. This is anterior root, posterior root. This is trunk, and trunk divides into posterior rami and anterior rami. This anterior rami is anterior rami forms the intercostal nerve. At the lateral side it gives lateral cutaneous branch, and at the anterior side it gives anterior cutaneous branch. So this is the diagram showing the area supplied by these nerves. The C3 and C4 supplies this part of pectoral region. Anterior cutaneous branch from T2 to T6 supplies this area, and intercostal nerve of T3 to T6 lateral cutaneous branch supplies this much area. Now the cutaneous vessels, they are perforating branches of internal thoracic artery and lateral cutaneous branch of posterior intercostal artery. So in this figure, the branches from the medial side, these are the perforating branches of the internal thoracic artery, and lateral branches, they are the lateral cutaneous branches of posterior intercostal artery. Now what is posterior intercostal artery? This is aorta. Aorta gives the branches perpendicular to its length. So this is posterior intercostal arteries, which runs in the intercostal space, and in the right diagram the internal thoracic artery is present just lateral to the internal this sternum, and here from here it gives these perforating branches like this in the intercostal space. This is a diagram showing the posterior intercostal artery. It is a transverse section of thorax showing this is vertebra, this is aorta, and this is sternum. From aorta there is emergence of this posterior intercostal artery, and on lateral side it gives lateral cutaneous branch, this one. Now the platysma. Platysma is a subcutaneous muscle, thin broad sheet of subcutaneous muscle, as shown in this figure. This is platysma, and it takes origin from the deep fascia covering the pectoralis muscle. So in the pectoral region there is a muscle known as pectoralis major muscle. The fascia covering this muscle is known as pectoralis fascia. So platysma takes origin from the pectoralis fascia just below the clavicle, and insertion into the base of mandible and skin over the posterior lower part of the face. So in this figure, this is the origin and this is the insertion. And direction of the fibers of platysma upwards and medially. So this is the direction, upwards and medially. Now the nerve supply, it is supplied by facial nerve, 7th cranial nerve. Now the action, it causes formation of wrinkles in the neck as shown in this figure. Now deep fascia of this region is known as pectoral fascia. You just know the name only, nothing else required. Now the muscles of pectoral region, there are 4 muscles in the pectoral region: pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, subclavius and serratus anterior. We will see one by one. First is pectoralis major muscle. It arises from 2 heads, clavicular head and sternocostal head. So clavicular head takes origin from this anterior surface of medial half of the clavicle, this one. Then the sternocostal head takes origin from the anterior surface of lateral half of sternum, and then from 2nd to 6th costal cartilage as shown in this figure. And it also takes from origin from aponeurosis of external oblique, this one. And the fibers runs upwards and laterally and inserted into lateral lip of bicipital groove. This is lateral lip of bicipital groove present in the humerus. So this is the diagram showing this is origin and this is insertion. Now the nerve supply, it is supplied by medial and lateral pectoral nerve. So this is pectoralis major muscle. And now the action, it causes adduction and medial rotation of the upper limb. Clavicular head causes flexion of the shoulder joint, and sternocostal head causes extension against resistance of the shoulder joint. Now pectoralis minor muscle, deep to the pectoralis major. If we remove the pectoralis major muscle, we will get pectoralis minor muscle. It takes origin from 3rd, 4th, 5th ribs near costochondral junction, and insertion on the upper medial part of the coracoid process. So this is origin and this is insertion. And this is pectoralis minor muscle. Nerve supply, it is supplied by medial pectoral and lateral pectoral nerve. Now action, it studies the scapula during the various movement of shoulder joint. It also pulls the scapula forwards, and since it is attached to rib, so it also helps in forceful inspiration. Now subclavius muscle. Sub means below, clavius means clavicle. So the muscle which is present below the clavicle is subclavius muscle. Takes origin from the first rib near costochondral junction and inserted on the subclavian groove present in the middle third of the clavicle in the inferior surface. So in this photograph we can see this is subclavian muscle. Nerve supply, nerve to subclavius. Axon, it steadies the clavicle during the various movements of shoulder joint. Now serratus anterior muscle. It takes origin from 8 digitation from upper 8 ribs and also the fascia covering the ribs, and inserted on the costal surface of medial border of clavicle, this one. So this is serratus anterior muscles. Nerve supply, it is supplied by nerve to serratus anterior, also called as nerve of Bell or long thoracic nerve. Now axon, it helps in pushing and punching movement. It helps in overhead abduction of the shoulder joint. It steadies scapula during the various movement of upper limb, and since it is also attached to the rib, so it helps in forceful inspiration. If there is paralysis of serratus anterior muscle or injury to nerve to serratus anterior, then it will lead to winging of scapula. So in this figure we can see there is undue prominence of medial border and inferior angle of shoulder. This is scapula. This is swinging of scapula. Now clavipectoral fascia, fibrous sheet underneath this pectoralis major muscle, one fascia is there. This is known as clavipectoral fascia. So if we take a sagittal section at this region, we will get this kind of figure. So here you can see this is pectoralis major muscle, and deep to the pectoralis major, this green structure is clavipectoral fascia. Now the attachments, superiorly it is attached to clavicle and inferiorly it is attached to axillary fascia. Superiorly it splits to enclose subclavius muscle, this one, and then it runs downwards and again splits and encloses pectoralis minor muscle, and then run downwards and attached to axillary fascia. The part of clavipectoral fascia between the pectoralis minor muscle and axillary fascia, this part is known as suspensory ligament. Now the lateral and medial attachment. So medially it is attached to this first rib and costoclavicular ligament, and laterally it is attached to coracoid process and coracoclavicular ligament, this one. So this white structure is clavipectoral fascia, this one. Now the structures piercing clavipectoral fascia, which we can remember by a mnemonic call. C for cephalic vein, A for acromiothoracic vessels, L for lateral pectoral nerve, again L for lymphatics. So these are the structures which pierce the clavipectoral fascia here. In this photograph we can see the clavicular head is cut, clavicular head of pectoralis major muscle is cut, and then we can see this white membrane, this is clavipectoral fascia, and the structures are cephalic vein, this blue one, red one is thoracoacromion vessel, and yellow one is lateral pectoral nerve. So these are the structures piercing clavipectoral fascia. So this is all about this pectoral region. Thank you.